Hey, everybody, again. Just had a mini heart attack because this thing stopped recording. Thought we had lost the episode. Thankfully, we didn't. So we're just going to wrap up real quick on the tangent we were on and give our final ratings for the movie and, you know, the usual and stuff. But yeah, we just had a mini heart attack.
Yeah, so basically, I kind of feel like they, like I said, I don't really like the way that, like, the Jabba's Palace stuff kind of just sits at the beginning of the movie and doesn't really add a whole lot to the rest of it.
Yeah, which I disagree with you on it, but I definitely can see the point.
It just feels, because it feels like they're two different movies, and but like I said, that's like my one big nitpick with the plot. Otherwise, I still love the Jabba's Palace stuff. It feels really weird how it kind of just is there.
I know what you're bringing up next.
Yeah, I know. The next part is going to be...
Bring it on.
Look. I have no problem with the Ewoks themselves, and I don't even mind that they help the rebels defeat.
Oh, I know. Like I told him prior, because he bring this up, I'm like, dude, I know. Like, listen, I'm joking with you. I play up that shit because I know Jared hates the Ewoks with fucking passion.
And I know it's supposed to be an allegory for the Viet Cong in the Vietnam War. As an aside, I get that that's an allegory, but just because it's an allegory, it kind of doesn't work because, like, part of the problem is, like, they play a lot of the Ewoks killing these stormtroopers for really huge comedic effect. And while I get that, like, the Viet Cong were able to defeat the U.S. in Vietnam, they still had guns supplied to them from the Russians and the Chinese. It's like, it's not like they were killing us with spears and bamboo shoots.
I mean, they were punji sticks.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you get my point.
Yeah, but I see your point, and again, that's been like a very common complaint I've always seen with this movie. And
yeah.
While I understand it, and I understand where people are coming from or how they would like not like that, it's never really bothered me.
It really doesn't bother me either. It's just sometimes when I'm watching that fight with them on Endor, I'm like, God, like this, like, and to be fair, some of it's funny. Like, I love that scene of the one Ewok on the speeder. And he has to stand on it like a little kid standing on his dad's motorcycle. And I'm like, where are we?
And then he guns it and he's just sitting there fucking... That shit's funny.
I mean, it's funny, but at the same time, I'm like... I think that's really the big issue. Cause, like, there's a lot of moments that are played way too silly.
And then there's the theory that what happened to the stormtrooper captives? The Ewoks ate them.
Yeah. Which, I mean, granted, they are portrayed as cannibals in this.
They were gonna eat Luke and Han.
Yeah, they were gonna eat Luke and Han. But, you know, I'm also caveat. I'm like, they're stormtroopers. They're Nazis, basically, so.
Yeah, so.
But no, like, I think my problem with that is just because of the fact that, like, as someone who's watched Avatar and watched the Na'vi manage to take on an army with spears and, like, giant bird monsters, and I'm like, and they still somehow won. It'd be like if, like, an army of Native Americans, like, challenged like dudes with tanks, like, and all they had were spears, horses, and some like cavalry rifles. I'm like,
no, I get the point. I
think
in a storytelling sense, it's never bothered me.
No, it doesn't really bother me. It's just, I guess as a film analyst myself, I sometimes sit there and I'm like, you know, this is kind of a little bit to take in, but I still enjoy it.
Yeah, so, all right. Rating-wise.
8 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I really, really like it. There are flaws with the movie, and I'm not so blind as I can not acknowledge them. For me, the negatives aren't a deal breaker for me with this movie, because at the end of the day, I still really, really love this movie, and I love its contributions to lore.
Yeah.
And again, the Ewoks have never fucking bothered me.
Like I said, I have no problem with the characters as a whole. Like, I do find Wicket pretty cute. I just, like I said, there some weird pacing issues for me, and just some of Lucas trying to be like, no, see, it's an allegory.
Maybe it was a little too ambitious.
Yeah, kind of. And I will admit, there's some comedy in this that I think, while it's fun, at the same time, it kind of lessens the tone of the seriousness of the final battle. But aside, like, the space battle and the battle with the scenes with Palpatine, Luke, and Vader more than make up for the few flaws this film has. I still consider it a part of this perfect trilogy, and I still think Episode 6 has more than enough to make up for it compared to its flaws. Like, I don't really like it when people try to put this on like this like worst sequels list, particularly for like worst third sequel.
Yeah, because I feel like that there's a lot of unnecessary criticism of that, and I kind of feel like it's like people have heard such negative things about it that they've kind of like believed it without actually taking like a critical look themselves at it.
It's actually why I hate the third Family Guy Star Wars parody where they parody Jedi, because like even then like when the power goes out, like how like each of those open, like Stu's like, we're doing Jedi, aren't we? And I'm like, have you guys watched like the prequels or like a lot of the other shit that's come out before? Like, these are leagues, like this movie is leagues better than a lot of the shit that's come out.
Yeah.
Like, and again, like proof of why the Family Guy's Star Wars specials are inferior to the Robot Chicken Star Wars specials.
I'll agree to that.
I well, I know you would.
Yeah.
But like I said, and again, I think like the hatred has lessened a bit here and there. Like, a lot of people have come around to realize, you know, Jedi wasn't nearly as terrible as people make it out to be. It's actually quite good. Like, it's certainly better than Caddyshack 2. Which, oof. But as a whole, I still would recommend this. I like, it was kind of fun, like, going back and talking about the original trilogy, just because, like...
And I'm always game for talking about the original trilogy.
As am I,
one of my favorite trilogies.
It was kind of fun talking about our own idea, like, our own opinion, like, perspectives on it, and talking about, like, how it affected the culture. Because, like, I still remember how people were so excited for when the original trilogy was being put back in the theaters, even if it was the
special
editions, which... I mean, to be fair, the special editions, while they still have their flaws, I mean, still the original trilogy. So.
Yeah.
But, you know, it just showed why so many people were willing to, like, accept the flaws of Episode 1 when it came out in '98. Even though the clearly big cultural event of that year was Pokemon the movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back.
You mean 1999?
Oh, that was 1999.
You said 98, 99.
I always think it's 98, but to be fair, like, I was like 8 at that time, so
it's 99.
Everything kind of blurs together. But again, still, you know, the true cultural shift of that period was, in fact, Pokemon the first movie.
Which we're not reviewing that on here. I'm sorry. I have no issue with that movie, but I'm not interested in going back to that.
That's fair. I mean, it'd be fun for me just because I could tell you about all the bullshit they had to cut from that movie. But, as someone who is basically the Carl Sagan of Pokemon.
Yes.
But like I said, would you agree that it was, like, I think that was kind of the more fun we had about this, just talking about
definitely. And it's always nice to have a conversation about Star Wars that doesn't lead to us being like, well, I don't fucking like this, or it leads into a fight. I think, like, while we presented some issues we had with certain stuff within the saga, I think we did a pretty good job of being well balanced with it, you know, and being like, hey, like, you know, we're not blindly hating. This is the reason why we don't like something. Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, hell, I think we were extremely fair with the prequel trilogy.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, and to be fair, usually you and I don't really argue with movies unless it's like something you or I know way more about than the other. But I'm also glad we did these by ourselves, because I don't know about getting everybody else on. Like, I feel like it would have probably devolved into a lot of arguing. Nothing against you guys. It's just
So anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap this up for the original trilogy of Star Wars. Tune in next time where we look at something not so great.
Stir, whip, whip, stir. Didn't you hear what I said? The Empire is shutting us down. I was waiting for you to do that, actually. So, yeah,
we're gonna review the holiday special, and then after that, Ewok movies, and then that will conclude Month in a Galaxy Far, Far Away. My birthday month, ironically enough.
But until then, guys,
I'm Average Joe Squad,
and I'm Zangetsu 134.
And as always,
we ask you,
remember the Hyphen,
and may the Force be with you.